Zabe, I wanted to talk Coach of the Year odds in the NFL. Looking at the board right now,
I saw your votes and
yes.
I put a pin in it going, oh, I got to talk to Grant about this.
So I put out my top 5. I want to get your response, but as is generally the case,
your fifth guy is too low. Way too low.
That's definitely the complaint.
Sun-Ting Wong. Bang,
Here's the problem.
Yao.
You got to move somebody down then.
I know you do. You know what? There's a lot of actually compelling cases for Coach of the Year. And it all depends on what you put as a priority for who does a great job.
Right.
I think the guy that does the best job was the guy you saw last night.
This is the best market, by the way, this year. In terms of, like, if you get a vote or it's the most competitive. I think there's at least 4, maybe 5, 6 guys that could actually, as you said, have a real case and win this thing.
What Shanny Jr. has done with the Niners is remarkable.
Incredible.
He's done such a great job this year, and he's become a really, really good coach overall because he can be a guy's guy when needed, but then lay down the hammer as well. He's got great, ruthless in-game tactics, so he knows how to navigate choppy waters and get the ship home to port. And then culturally, he has the team ready to play every week, no matter what.
He has had years like this one in San Francisco Kyle's had to deal with, where they have just
wipeout injuries.
Unbelievable injuries. And in the past, early in his career, it leads to a 4-12 or a 6-10.
Correct.
This year, they're 11-4 with all those injuries. But he's the guy, actually, that people take the biggest issue with on my list.
What did you rank him at?
So here's what we got.
I thought you had him down at 5.
I've got him 4.
Okay.
So number 1, I've got Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots. We can go back through these in a minute. Number 2, Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears. I'm going to need a Ben Johnson alert. Number 3 is Mike McDonald of the Seattle Seahawks. 4th, I've got Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. And then my number 5 is Liam Cohen of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a legitimate chance still to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. So the arguments are pretty obvious, but I'll rapid fire this.
Here, I'll go Kyle 1, Cohen 2, Vrabel 3, Johnson 4, and then McDonald 9.
Okay. I'll come back to McDonald last. Why is Cohen over Vrabel?
Because he's new. So I give bonus points. Vrabel's done it, though, before at Tennessee. And I would say, even though Trevor Lawrence has had a resurrection, Vrabel has the faster horse in Drake May.
But nobody knew that when he took over.
I know. I like it. Vrabel's great.
Yeah.
I'd like all these guys, but if I have to rank them, I give Cohen a nod because he had less to work with, and they lost Travis Hunter, who was their guy that they were building around this year.
So I think Jacksonville's offense is way more talented than New England's. Liam Cohen's tremendous. I love Liam Cohen. It's one of my favorite offensive designers, but they have a worse record than New England. They're in a softer division, possibly, than New England, especially with the Phillip Rivers injury.
Oh, no, Miami and the Jets, bro.
It's pretty good. Or pretty bad.
Pretty
Which
bad.
one would it be?
Right.
But the Bills are a juggernaut. There's nobody like that in the AFC
They're
South.
both good. It's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, whatever.
And you've got a $50 million quarterback who's a former 1-1 that you're working with.
I think
he's done a good job with
I think Johnson's been good. I think it's easy to get distracted by the shirtless hype. But the Bears have been a magic act all year, like the Commanders were last year.
Right.
They've pulled 5 games straight out of their ass, which they had no business winning.
Coaching.
And that's, it is kind of coaching, but there's a lot of coin flipping that goes on every week in the NFL. A lot of games that are just truly random outcomes. It doesn't mean I don't think he's a great hire for them. Doesn't mean that I don't think he's doing a good job. But I put that all into the formula, which is not even a formula, into my subjective lick my finger, stick it in the air and go, who's the coach of the year?
That's why he's number 3 rushing offense in the NFL now, the architect Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson
Yards
alert.
Per play.
Ben Johnson alert.
What? And they're the number 9 overall.
What is that?
The Ben Johnson alert?
Yeah, I need to know the backstory on this.
Oh, there's how long you got? So this gets me in a little trouble. People get very upset. So I was obsessed with Ben Johnson. Some would say I still am.
For a long time when
3
he was
years.
with the Lions. Okay.
Yeah, for multiple years, I wanted him to be the head coach here. Washington had an opening. I wanted him to be the head coach here. They decided that wasn't for them necessarily.
So whenever his name would come up, you guys created a little sounder, which
Yes,
is Ben
I would
Johnson.
talk about Ben Johnson every hour of every day.
Ben Johnson alert.
There he goes.
Ben Johnson alert.
So whenever you say the name, it comes up.
Exactly right.
All right. So
People
you
got a little frustrated.
so you have biased admirers' eyes on Ben Johnson.
He's the best play designer and schemer in the league, and
No, he's really good, and he did something smart. He said, we are going to run. We're going to get heavier. We're going to go more 2 tight end sets. They drafted a tight end because he kind of knew deep down. He's like, Caleb's is going to be a project yet as a passer. So even though we got all these targets and all these guys, these weapons, we need to be able to run. And so with Swift and Monungai, great name that is, Kyle Monungai,
7th round pick.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot out of him. It's just a great run game.
Will
What
you
he's done for Caleb Williams has been fantastic.
will you sell me on McDonald up there in Seattle? Because he's always struck me as just kind of meh. I don't understand him. He's very
Ooh.
he's good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, sell me on what he does best.
Okay, so first off, he's, I think, one of the smartest defensive minds in the NFL. Seattle last year went from a bad defense to a top 10 defense in the second half of the season.
Okay.
He's a D coordinator who comes in as a first-time head coach, turns them around. This year, they're the number 2 defense in the NFL yards per play. They have the number 1 defense when just rushing 4 up front because of the games and stunts that he draws up and designs in the dirt.
Okay.
They're number 1 against the run. They're number 2 against the pass. They're top 6 in getting sacks. They're top 5 in first downs allowed. So he is the guy who's been the antidote to the Shanahan scheme.
Got it.
Like, people are studying his defense because that offense that has had the branches go all over the NFL, he's the one guy defensively so far. See, like
Got it.
Baltimore shoving it on the Dolphins, shoving it on San Francisco when he was there, who's been able to shut that offense down. From a head coaching standpoint, he was also interviewed, I'll remind you, by the Washington Commanders
Ooh.
when they hired Dan Quinn. And he, too, was not the choice. Now, people will say he went to Seattle the day before. I think if he wanted to be the coach of the Commanders when they had the number 2 pick, he would have been the coach. If they wanted him to, rather, he would have been the coach. But last year he gets the job. He goes 10-7 in a tough division.
With
This year-
Geno Smith.
With Geno Smith.
My friend Geno Smith.
They trade Geno. They go get Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
They go really heavily into defense. They don't even run the ball that well. And they're 12-3 in a division with the Rams, who have already clinched, and the Niners, who have already clinched.
Sold. You just sold me on your boy.
It might be the 1 seed.
Oh, Mike McDonald.
So in 2 years, by the way, he's 22-10. He's had more success than anybody else in that coaching class
yeah.
so far. So I'm
Okay.
a big Mike McDonald believer. I just think he's out in Seattle. He's a defensive guy, not an offensive guy, so he doesn't get the same love. But I'm going Vrabel 1, Johnson 2, McDonald 3, Shanahan 4, Liam Cohen 5.
For the Mike McDonald alerts, Darius, you could get maybe a little woo-woo from the Michael McDonald singer of What a Fool Believes fame.
There was a Mike McDonald alert for exactly 1 day.
Was there really?
Yes, because when Ben Johnson fell through and that whole thing went up in smoke, I don't know if you remember the specifics, but they're on an airplane going out to Detroit.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
He tells them thanks.
Turns
no
around.
Thanks. I mean, it took a lot of money and some control. You're either going to pay him a bunch and let him have some personnel control, or you're not getting the most sought-after coaching candidate
Yeah.
in years. Didn't work out. Fine. So then my immediate pivot was, because the Dan Quinn stuff was percolating, and I have nothing against Dan Quinn. He actually did a hell of a job last year.
It's
He was
just he was your third choice.
not quite.
Fourth?
Maybe not fourth.
Wow.
How
So
many-
McDonald?
yes.
No, it was Ben Johnson
Ben
1,
Johnson was
McDonald
1.
2.
McDonald was only 2 after all of the offensive guys were exhausted.
Did you have your list ranked while this was still
Oh,
being?
God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, we only did that every day for 4.5 hours.
I love
Again, this is why people are still mad at me. This is one of my frustrations is once they hired Quinn, you just kind of move on. They made their choice.
They're mad at you because they feel like your heart has not accepted your fifth
Exactly,
choice.
because of my obsession with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think really
Well,
at
they-
the truth, if you want the truth, it's because of how well he's doing.
Well,
So they're mad at him and they're mad at
yeah,
something else, and they'll take it out on me.
when people disagree with you about something and then you're right, they hate you even more. They hate you for being right.
You're not wrong. You're
And
not
being
wrong.
being a tall, handsome fella.
Yes, you're very Sam Hartman over there. But anyway, as soon as the Ben Johnson thing, like my dream of years and years of like, oh my God, they could do this in one off season. Let's do it. Went away. Then I panicked and I'm like, it can't end this way with a retread defensive mind.
They could do this in one off season.
Well, they had a chance.
Do what?
They have a new owner. to get the GM right and the quarterback right, all in one fell
all three
swoop.
levels, yeah.
So I'm like, here we go. Let's do this thing.
Actually, all 4 levels: owner, GM, coach, quarterback.
Right. It's never happened in my life. They've never even tried. And in one offseason, let's hit a bunch of home runs and let's win for 17 years. Well,
They hit a lot of home runs last year.
they hit a hell of a lot of home runs.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just now you're like, was it real?
That's the big question.
That's the big question.
But that was my pivot, was for 24 hours, McDonald was the guy.
I think we can agree coaching certainly does matter in the NFL.
You're seeing it in Jacksonville, New England, and other spots.
And we can also agree that it's really hard to fully know exactly who's going to be good.
And by the way, to DQ's credit, you saw it here last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the majority of last year's success was a lot of what Peters did worked. And Jaden Daniels, whether it was you coaching, Dan Quinn coaching, or me coaching, waved a wand over that thing. But you have to give Quinn a lot of credit for, and I do, the culture building. You see why he's so popular and beloved. The players legitimately really, really enjoy playing for this guy because he is a legitimate leader of men, and he's a badass
Leader
defensive
of
mind.
men.
As a defensive coordinator, he's had top 5 defenses his entire career as a DC. It hasn't happened as a head coach, but I do think he's a really, really, like, unlike Ron, if he's a defensive coordinator, I feel really good about him being a top of the board type guy.
And he benefits from the low bar of all the terrible coaches that preceded him,
Helps.
of which they were almost all terrible. Even the good ones like Shanahan, who had credentials, was undermined by little Danny Snyder from the very minute he set foot here. And he kind of never had a chance.